You're listening to Season 3 of That's Not How a Baby Sleeps. I'm your host, Alicia Daishon, and I'm joined by my co-host, Aleni Katsinis. We are not your average sleep consultants, no cry it out or sleep training at all for that matter.
Hey, you look pretty.
Thank you.
You're all dressed up every time I see you. You have a nice mom bun on and
yeah.
a baby attached to you. Well, Alicia, this is Mariel. This is
Hi,
Alicia.
Mariel.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
We're so excited to have you on. I was telling Alicia all about like your journey and what you've been through and all the stuff people tell you and didn't tell you and lots of stuff. So we thought you'd be great to have on. So if you can please just like introduce yourself a little bit, like who you are, what you do for work, your little baby, and just like your very like little intro to yourself and your journey.
Sure. I'm Mariel, clearly. I transplanted to Buffalo from Long Island, and I'm a dentist. My son is 9 months old as of this week. He had his 9-month checkup today, actually, and we'll talk about that. And yeah, it's been a journey. It's good now.
Yes, good. I'm so glad it's good now, but we'll talk about the beginning a little bit. Like, how was sleep like when you first reached out to me? When did you first reach out to me? He was 3 months old?
I think so. Yes,
Yeah,
I was waiting. I was counting the days. I was like, when can I say something? Yeah, I was super fortunate. So my in-laws stayed with me, and my mom too, but she wasn't helpful. My in-laws stayed with me for like the first 3 months. That's what happened, and they slept with him. They took him every single night. So while I was like recovering. So when they left, it was a huge transition that I was super anxious about, and it was kind of like a lot. And at that point, he would wake up screaming, like I'd have to put him vertical in like a certain position for him to go back to sleep, to get him to sleep sometimes, or just comfortable. He wanted to be like belly down. There were like specific positions he liked. And that rang a bell in my head for reflux. But that's what it was like, where it was just a nightmare to keep him asleep and just keep him comfortable. And he was spitting up a lot, like volatile, like, and I was like scary. He was like the Exorcist. See, now I can see the humor.
You can laugh about it now that it's over.
Yeah. So that's what it was like. And it was kind of like, I was very naive. I had no basis I felt like I was lied to by life about how infant sleep should be. So it was like, I was the only one struggling, and I really thought I was doing so many things wrong. I was crying about it, that I messed up my child. I totally screwed him up because I held him for a nap. Oh, it sounds stupid now, but back then, like, I was looking at like different websites, because you look at all these, you're looking for guidance in all the wrong places, but that's what the media throws at you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember when you came to me and you did your little intake form, just like some struggles you were going through. And you were saying to me, like, my in-laws like slept with him for 3 months, like his first 3 months, like they really messed him up. So now that I try to sleep with him, it's all messed up. And I was just, you and me listening to that, I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting, because I'm going to have to really educate her on like what normal infant sleep is, because like you said, you really didn't know what normal infant sleep was. So were you doing any research like during your pregnancy, or was anyone telling you about sleep at all? Like, I don't remember if I've asked you this. No. Were you just thinking like, let me get this baby out, and that was it?
I was more focused on the pregnancy and birth.
Yeah.
That's what I was so focused on. And I've listened to your podcast, and like, I was laughing at Alicia saying how like when you were saying how you were determined to just have a C-section, like you didn't want to birth. I was the opposite, because I like dove into this research, and I was more obsessing over that. And I got all these books, but like, I swear nothing clicked in my head about sleep. I just I was so naive. I just thought it would magically happen, and that was it.
Yeah. You just think your baby's going to sleep, right? Like,
Yeah.
sleep just, you're
I did.
going to put them down and they're going to sleep. Like, that's what you think. But obviously, that didn't happen for Benji.
No.
But you had a lot of medical stuff going on since the beginning. So do you want to walk us through that? Like, when it started or when you noticed it, and like, you know, you had a long journey with that. So I love for you as much as you want to share, because I think this would really help a lot of other moms going through the same thing you would.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm willing to share everything because of that. I want to help everyone because it was not fun. So like I said, he had like he like favored certain positions like belly down and vertical. And that's why, and I have reflux. My father had reflux. My husband gets reflux. And I said, this child was destined to have reflux. So I had a feeling. So that's also when I reached out to Aleni. And then we said, you know what? So I said, let me see an ENT. I also thought he might have a lip and tongue tie, also based on a lot of, and that happened as the cause of reflux potentially. So there was that. So then I took him to the ENT. Oh, he also had his mouth open all the time. He was sleeping with his mouth open, and I would like see and he's like at rest, just always like dumbfounded looking.
Yeah, even just hanging out during the day, his mouth would be open all the time, right?
Uh-huh.
I remember on one of our calls, she's like, look at him. His mouth is always open.
Still is. We can come back to that in a minute, but it still is. That's just what he does. But yeah, so I said, let me get him checked out with ENT because I want to see if there's any like obstructions in his nose, like anatomically, if there's some kind of you don't know, there could be something weird. So I brought him. They did like a nasal scope right then and there, which the baby screams. Someone has to hold him. I'm just giving anyone who's listening like what to expect. And he had nothing anatomically wrong, so that was a relief. I was told I was just brushed aside for the mouth breathing and the mouth open, just told it doesn't mean anything. I'm like, okay. And that was a red flag for me, but anyway, and prescribed famotidine. So I was okay with that. I know it's like a Band-Aid, but I said, you know what, like, you want him to have like some acute relief. And I said, let me start there. So we were giving him famotidine, and it did help. He was no longer projectile vomiting. Yes, he was still screaming in the middle of the night. Then I made an appointment with an airway dentist, for the lip and tongue tie because, the ENT said that he has a posterior tongue tie, which wasn't true. And didn't even look at his lip. It wasn't a proper evaluation. It wasn't knee to knee. Yeah. And I already knew that was, another red flag. 2 red flags.
Yep.
So, and I looked at him myself because, again, I'm a dentist. And I said, I'm pretty sure he's lip and tongue tied. And then the dentist like took the proper exam in like 2 seconds, was like, yep, lip and tongue tie. And it was an anterior tongue tie. And they lasered it immediately at that visit. And I was like praying that it would be like the magic fix. And I did all the aftercare. I did everything they said, which wasn't fun. He was like traumatized for a while because you have to massage and do all these stretches. So like for a long time, he wouldn't let me near his mouth or his nose. He would like whip his head.
Weren't you doing those stretches before too?
Yeah, okay. I was. Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me.
You've been through it all. So.
Yeah. I sought out myofunctional therapy. So no one really works with babies, like at least around here, but it turned out I still reached out to someone, and she ended up giving me some advice on like a little device I could use. I'll be honest, I didn't use it really.
It's because I'm a pacifier, right? Like a certain pacifier.
Was it Myo Munchie?
Yes, yeah. Myo Munchie. Yeah, I'll be honest, because like I'm not home most of the time, and the nanny like didn't really use it much, and it just kind of, I don't know, it just fell to the wayside. I'm being honest.
And they're expensive too.
What'd you say?
They're expensive too.
Yeah, they're $100, and 2 of them. Yeah, and the amount of money I've wasted, probably at least $1,000 on crazy stuff that I did in panic moments. Yeah. Then also with reflux, I don't know if I hope I'm not digressing too much, but there's like a milk protein allergy concern. So I went into a spiral with that at one point, and then I started ordering like special formula from Australia that took a month to get here. Haven't touched it because he's fine. He does not have a milk protein allergy. But what did help the reflux, I will say, was switching to goat milk. I was using whole milk formula, and because I'm also breastfeeding, but I just supplement. So I had less pressure on me because just mentally. So we were giving him like whole milk formula and it was very foamy. And then I switched him to goat milk and it was like no foam. And he had like such a drastic change with that too. So that was another thing I did, was go into a deep dive with the formula. But it was semi-helpful, it was semi-productive, other than all the crazy formulas I bought for the non-existent milk protein allergy. And now I lost track of what we were talking about.
You're
Just
talking about everything. Yeah,
everything.
you had a lot
Just
of
all over the
medical.
place.
You were all over the place, and you
Yeah.
are one of the most determined clients I've ever had because
Oh, thank
we
you.
had to work through his sleep. But I was like, he's uncomfortable, so we cannot do anything, change anything until we get him more comfortable. And I know reflux was an issue, the ties, and then you got them released, and you noticed a change. But I remember in the beginning when you first came to me, you saw a lactation specialist because you didn't have a great latch, right? Like he wasn't latching great because of the ties that we know now, and she was even saying there was no ties. So
Like she was like, it's like a medium. Like it's not a, like she was
yeah,
like afraid to diagnose it.
yeah, I don't know if
That's
she
what's
was
so
specialized.
everyone's afraid. Everyone's afraid to say there's a tie. Like in the hospital, they said there's no tongue ties multiple times. That's what's so scary. Like don't say it. Just say get evaluated. Like I wish everyone would just get evaluated
Just
if they
lead
don't
you
know.
to someone else that will
Yeah.
do a proper evaluation, and you did not stop until you found an answer from like everybody. You've been to so many people. I sent you to the chiropractor, which was kind of helpful,
Yeah.
right? But not that helpful, right?
It's just he's doing good. He still goes once a
Oh,
month
good.
now. It's just good to say like he goes.
Yeah.
Cuz I personally think it's just like a relief that he's okay. Hearing her say, "Yeah, he's doing great." Cool.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled. And I was happy she didn't. It was like ruling stuff out. That was another thing I did for the reflux was a chiropractor cuz the when he was having issues with latching, the lactation consultant said he was tight, like he had tension. Whether that was true or not, I don't know, but
Yeah, it probably was,
it can hurt.
especially yeah, with the ties and stuff too. I'm sure tension built up, and it didn't like totally relieve everything for him. I think the tongue tie release definitely was helpful for him. But the
Mhm.
chiropractor, I mean, I think it's beneficial for any child really to go
Yeah,
to. You know, especially little babies or if they're tense. I mean, you're tense. Do you go to the tech
yeah.
chiropractor? Okay,
I would.
good.
I'd be like this if I wasn't.
I know. And you do. I always applaud you for taking care of yourself. I think you do a very good job taking care of yourself and like going places or doing things or just obviously helping him help you for your mental stakes. I know so many things that he went through was affecting you because you were misled by so many different providers. And
Hmm.
was your pediatrician kind of just like shooed you off, right?
Oh
The
gosh,
first one you had?
let's talk about that for a
Okay,
minute,
let's
just
talk about
for the
it.
people, for the other moms. The first pediatrician I went to shamed me for co-sleeping, rolled her eyes at me, and my husband was in the room. He saw it too, and like wouldn't even make eye contact with me. Was just filling out a form. Just didn't want anything. It was just like there was no engagement, and we ended up leaving that practice because I said this just there's got to be something better. And now it's 100 times like a night and day. Even we went today, and again I almost cried. I was like, thank God the provider today. She was like, oh, how's his sleep? I was like, he's sleeping great. We're still co-sleeping. She was like, okay, if you want to move him to out of if you want to move away from that, now's a great time to do that. But it's your choice. And like that's the answer that should be there. Like come on,
Totally.
people. Everyone's lying. That's what bothers me. Is like so many people are definitely lying to their doctors and they shouldn't have to.
Yeah, we talked about this on one of our calls. What did I tell you? Like, there's a statistic that I think it's like either 60 to 70%, maybe even higher, that moms lie to their pediatricians about
Hmm.
bed sharing and co sleeping because they don't want to feel that shame. They don't want to
Yeah.
feel that guilt or whatever, especially coming from a provider. But you're like, I don't care. I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. I'll tell everybody. And
Yeah.
you do. You tell everybody, and you get like a lot of rolled eyes or like pushback from people or questioning you. But you're so confident in your decision right now, which I think is so great because a lot of moms don't get that till like 2 years later, or even
Oh,
some,
thanks.
like a lot of moms at the first year, they don't have that because it's hard, right? They're going through it so hard, or maybe they don't think it's the right decision, or they haven't found like a holistic sleep specialist or friends, like a lot of your coworkers would tell you stuff too. Just like,
I have a coworker that's a big sleep training person. I just go, mm-hmm. She was like, give me your I had a bunch of people tell me already, like, give me your son for a weekend, I'll fix him. And I'm like,
isn't that crazy, Alicia? The comments that Mariel has gotten from people, I'm like, I have never heard so many like
I
unsolicited
yeah.
advice for
Yep.
one person. Like,
I think that's probably the worst I've heard.
Because I'm
just give
telling
me
you,
your baby.
no one else would tell. I'm very vocal about it. Well, that's what it is. Like I'm an open book. And it's really unbelievable. Like what we go through as moms, honestly. And not everyone has you, Aleni, or you, Lisa. That's why I'm more confident now, because like you give me the validation that I needed. Because as a new mom, you don't know.
I know, it's so hard, but we had to go through tough things with our kids to get to where we are now, you know.
Yeah.
And we don't want our, you know, other moms to go through that, just like you. Like, you'll tell anybody your story, which is so great that you're on here saying your story, because you went through so much medical stuff. But now that you went through it all and it's better, right? Like, you're on the other side of it, so like everything medically is pretty much resolved at this point.
Yeah,
right?
so he's off all his meds. Oh, that was me. I'll tell you what happened. Like after, I didn't tell you the other half of the story. Oh, okay. Let's circle back a little bit, because it's important. So then, after I brought him to the ENT and then the tongue tie, then I said I knew there was still something. So I said, let me bring him. And Eleni also pushed me in a good way. She was like, you got to find the root cause, man. You just got to find the root cause. And I was like, oh, okay, I got to find the root cause. And I know she was so passionate about it. And I was like, I thought it was going to be the lip and tongue tie, but it wasn't totally gone.
Yeah.
And medication only can do so much. So I said, let me bring him to a gastroenterologist. So I brought him to one here, and she was super nice. And she ordered an upper GI like scope thing, fluoroscopy. So, and I had to run to Children's for that. And what they did was they strapped him down to a board, horizontal, and they like force feed him like a bottle with like fluorescent material, with like formula with fluorescent stuff, and basically it lights up the upper GI to show that there's no like anatomical abnormalities. That's what I wanted to be clear of. But it was so traumatic for this child. I heard him, they don't let you stay in the room. I heard him screaming down the hallway, and I like just panicked screaming. It was horrible. Yeah. So then I get a call that afternoon from the doctor, which is never good. And she was just like, well, he aspirated. Oh, and I was like, he what? And she's like, he aspirated the solution. So now we need to do a swallow test, because he might not be swallowing correctly. And I was like so alarmed. I was like shaking. And it's like the delivery some doctors have, you know? It's like, just say, you know, it's actually a common thing with this, because, and even in the back of my head, I said, you know what, the way he was laying there and they were force feeding him, of course he's going to aspirate. That's probably happens all the time. But she made it seem like, ooh, it's an emergency. So I went home, I cried. And then I had to schedule a feeding evaluation with a speech therapist. So when I did, and then on top of that, a swallow study. So I had to keep running back. This was 3 times to the hospital. So then I saw the speech language pathologist, who was fantastic, and she started giving him his first solids, and I was happy because I was scared to give him his first solids. So she like watched him drink a bottle and was like, she's like, I'm pretty positive this was a fluke, but just do the swallow test so that we have it, like we can say it's fine. So I knew going into it the swallow test would be fine. That was a much more calm test. I was able to be in the room and feed him the bottle, and then it's very cool. You watch him swallow in real time the formula with like with fluorescent stuff. So you like watch it go down his throat. And we learned that he couldn't tolerate a size 4 nipple, that he was almost aspirating it. And that size 3 was good and below. So like I had to bring in all his bottles and try them all out to like show how he efficiently swallows. So we ruled that out, because then I was like, yeah, then I was on that warpath where I was like, it's his swallowing that's making him have reflux, which it could have been with the size 4 nipple. I don't know. And then at that point, I was just kind of fed up with going to doctors. And I said, you know what? I think he's just doing better. And I weaned him off of the famotidine. You have to wean them off. Otherwise, you get like reflux, rebound reflux. So I did that myself, which I know most people shouldn't do that themselves. I acknowledge that. I took the liberty, and I was just very fed up. And I just took him, and I never really gave him the gastroenterologist prescribed him like a super strong like Nexium, which is a much stronger. Yeah, and I gave it to him like once, and then I said, what am I? And it felt wrong, and I felt like I was over medicating him, and she had reasons. She didn't want him to have a food aversion, but I was like, this just doesn't seem right. So I never really gave it to him. And then he's fine. Like he kind of outgrew it, I want to say. And that's something that people say is they outgrow reflux. And I thought that was baloney. But maybe it's true. Maybe it was the combination of all the things we did somehow took action. I don't know. And I have to make peace with that. We don't really know 100%. And I have, but that was crazy. That was just a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm done with doctors.
I don't blame
That sounds like a combination of all of those things, to be honest. Like the goat milk formula that you guys were using now, the oral ties were addressed, and then like even the nipple situation, like going down a size, like that's huge. So yeah, that makes sense to me.
I think it was just a combination of all these things, but it took a lot of work to get to that point, I'll tell you that, and a lot of tears.
Yeah. You
mental load.
You went through like a lot, and you never took no for an answer, and you were so led by your instincts, because even though you were pushed away from people or brushed off, you're like, something is wrong and I'm going to find out what's wrong. And I was definitely there to help you through it and encourage you, but you found really great providers, which is awesome. I feel like by luck, by chance, or just searching for it, like I think everyone that led you down the right path. Like I know the myofunctional therapist was great. So I'm so glad you found her, and just like having that, or was it a him?
No, it was a her.
Okay, yeah. So you found some great people, and now his reflux is fine and he's eating food, right?
Yep, he's eating food. He's healthy. You had his doctor appointment. He's 9 months today. He's in perfect health. His head grew a ton. Like she remeasured it because he was in the 17th percentile initially in our last visit, and this time he was in the 74th.
Wow, that's amazing.
She remeasured it. She's like, "That's a big jump," and it was right. And yeah, and he doesn't like have like a giant head, but don't worry. But
yeah, it was smaller for his.
Yeah, he just looks more like a little boy now, and I knew his head grew, and he's just long, which is great. Yeah, his health is perfect. And then I actually talked to the dentist today about because I said, what if I need to like see a different ENT or something with his open mouth? So I talked to the airway dentist today actually, and I asked, is there something I should be doing? Just because like you see so many conflicting things online, and I'll see things that are just like, it's not normal, but they don't tell you what to do about it. Yeah. They just say it's not normal. And I was like, so I asked the dentist, and he said, honestly, it's behavioral, and the best thing to do is to wait till he's older to do myofunctional therapy. And I'm okay with that. That's fine. I just wanted reassurance I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do when I can do it. That's all. It just goes right back open.
I'm curious because I've had clients before where they've had like the oral ties revised and stuff, and then they still have those issues. And a lot of the time it's muscular, which I'm assuming the myofunctional therapist would help with in the future. So yeah, that's good.
So I was really happy with that. And yeah, and it's interesting, like, with baby-led weaning, I'm doing that, and my nanny, she never heard of it, and she was reading into it, and then like everyone's like scared he's gonna choke, and it's really fun because you would think I would be the most scared, and everyone else, like my house, like my in-laws are visiting, they're all like, they jump out of their seat, he starts coughing, and I'm just like, he's fine, he's just working it out.
I know, I feel like that's such a misconception, is like, it's good if you hear noises, like if they're coughing or choking a little bit, like I know it looks scary, but it's like they're getting it out or they're working it up. Like when you don't hear the noise,
there's air coming through. It's
my nanny was like, CPR, right? I was like, yes, I'm not worried.
Are your in-laws still visiting, or they were? Yeah. Wait, how long have they been there for?
2 months they're visiting for. Yeah.
But you love them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they have very good relationship. Because where are they from?
Brazil.
Okay, so do you mind talking a little bit about that, like their culture and how they expect, like, I guess just like, I know the dynamic between maybe like people that you hear are your coworkers or even your own family versus like your husband and his family, because obviously it's very different.
Yeah. In Brazil, it seems that it's culturally more accepted, the co-sleeping. And like when I was naive and pregnant, I was looking at like cribs and all this stuff and bassinets, and I said, oh, maybe I should get this new. And I was like, maybe it's worth it. I don't know. And then my mother-in-law said the most profound thing that impacted me. She said, he doesn't need that. Your son's not going to need that. He needs you. And I was like, She's right. So she never really, she always held him. Like we put him in the bassinet for a little bit, but he always woke up he's just like a Velcro baby. That's just his personality and his temperament. He's just very Velcro-y. He still contact naps. And like I said, I was worried back then. I thought my in-laws broke him because according to Pampers,
The Pampers what app?
Pampers sleep coaching ads that I keep getting constantly.
You gotta erase that.
I'm dead serious. I was like deep in the articles with Pampers, and I was like, and I turned to Felipe, and I was like, Felipe's my husband, and I was like, we ruined him. I ruined him. Your parents ruined him. And he would like get mad at me that like I was blaming his parents, because for a while I did. I admit I did. I was like, oh, they took him. It's their fault. And so many people will say to me, oh, yeah, your in-laws spoiled him. You spoiled him. You're still spoiling him. And I'm like, now I roll my eyes, but back then I was like crying my eyes out and emailing Aleni.
I know, you're like,
in a panic.
My in-laws ruined him and now he can't be put down. I'm like, okay, let's dive into this more. But it's just so crazy, because you should just reply to people, because whenever I hear spoil, it makes me laugh, because what's the definition of spoil? It means to rot, or for something to get like ruined. So like we're not spoiling our babies by loving them too much, obviously.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
We're doing the exact opposite. And if anything, like with you recovering, your in-laws did exactly what they were supposed to in the beginning. And they became a part of his attachment village right away, which is so beautiful, because they don't live here. I know they come back and forth, but like they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And I know they love him and they sleep with him so you guys can get a little bit more sleep, and they like hold him and they baby wear, right? Do you guys all baby wear him?
Not all of us.
Okay.
My mother-in-law's tried it just because she was curious, but we do baby wear when we go out. Shout out to Anna.
I know, for Buffalo Bundles. If you're in Buffalo, she's the best.
Yeah, she's amazing. She changed our lives.
Oh, good, because you found the best carrier for you guys through her, right?
Yeah, it was love at first sight with the happy baby carrier. Yeah, we needed it for hiking.
Yeah,
and just in general, like, because he's a Velcro baby, and most babies probably are, but it's just this. It drives me nuts. Aleni knows that. Why are we like, as a society, like pushing away the babies? Like, is it like the formula companies don't make enough money?
It's everything.
It's so wild to me how like we're being pushed to be like away from our babies. They need us. They're wired that way.
Exactly.
Hello.
Well, they all just want you to go right back to work, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm in Canada, so we actually have maternity leave here.
I know you jerk.
But I can't wrap my head around it. Like, it's the most bizarre thing. I mean, like, obviously, if you have, a decent job there, you get a short amount of time, right? Like,
I got 4 months, and I was lucky.
Oh, you got 4 months, yeah.
I got 4 months, and I was really lucky.
Yeah.
No, I can't wrap my head around it, because like I initially, because we get 12 or 18 months, like it's paid, it's half our wage or whatever, which is fine. And then you get the same amount of money if it's up to 18 months. They just divide it up in 18 months instead of 12 months. And initially I was like, oh yeah, totally. I'll just take 12 months. And then 12 months rolled around. I was like, I don't want to go back to work. I'm not, like, I couldn't wrap my head around leaving my small child with somebody else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 4 months. And I mean, that's generally when we hit that, 4-month sleep regression, and it's like, okay, sleep sucks, you're going back to work, you need to sleep, and now it's time to sleep train. And it's so sad.
Yeah, I had tried sleep training. We forgot to talk about that too.
I was going to ask you tried for what, a day, right?
For literally one night, and I like halfway in or less even, I was like, I'm not doing this, and my husband took over, and he was determined to see it through, just like because in a scientific manner. And I was like, this is stupid, I can't do this. Like, he just literally screamed bloody murder for hours. He didn't sleep. He'd never slept.
And you guys were in the room with him, weren't you?
We were in the room with him.
Which I think is even harder for everybody involved.
Yeah, he was just in the little bassinet, like just writhing. He was pouring sweat, and he like pooped himself. He never poops at night. And I was like, oh my goodness, this can't be right. Like, it just inherently feels wrong. Like, I don't know how anyone does it, honestly. Like, I don't know how anyone justifies it. I don't.
They think they have to, just for everything that's pushed on them. You get this narrative of like, they're never going to learn how to sleep if you don't do this right now. You're always going to have a baby rely on you, which obviously we know babies should rely on us anyways. Or like they say things like into toddlerhood or childhood, they're going to have poor sleep habits, which is so false because I see so many sleep trained babies in the toddlerhood that have such a hard time sleeping because it's like separation anxiety peaks because they're not in a crib anymore. So they're being locked in their rooms to sleep train again because they were taught that. And it's just like so much easier just to support them to sleep and put them down and walk away. I mean, to us, like all of us, know that. But, I'm a little, I forgot to tell you this. I'm a little shocked that Felipe was okay with it just from his background and his parents and all that stuff. Where do you think, like, as a couple, you both decide, like, we gotta at least try this? Like, I'm curious. It was you. Okay.
I like convinced him because I did all this research.
Yeah.
Where I got all, and like, I tried to find the most benign program, and he was like, oh yeah, it's an, aw.
Hi, Luna.
And he was like, yeah, it sounds like he just trusted me and like my research of it. And like, I don't know, I was naive again, where I just imagined it would go the way it was supposed to go.
Like everybody says, right?
Yeah.
What was he? Was he 4 months at that point when you tried?
Yeah.
Because we didn't start working together until he was like 5 months. I'm like, we gotta wait at least. I was still there to like chat with you, but like, we gotta wait till at least 5 months. And I remember like the day he turned 5 months, you're like, all right, I'm ready.
I'm ready. I was like, send it.
Oh gosh. Well, do you have like a memory or just like thinking back, like a aha moment, like, okay, this is not normal, right? Everything we're going through, like I know what normal infant sleep looks like now. Like, do you remember that moment, or was it more just like a lot of little moments leading up to where you are now?
I just remember sleeping with him in the beginning, I resented it. I admit it fully. I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. Like, that's because he was waking up screaming.
Yeah.
And then it was hard to get him back to sleep. And I felt like, and I just felt like I was the only one in the universe awake in the middle of the night for some reason. And it's just very lonely.
Yeah.
And then Felipe would wake up and take him and stuff, but then I would feel guilty. Like, it's one of those things. So I resented it. But once we got like the only benefit that the sleep training had, because everything you learn from everything, was that it got us into a routine for bedtime. That's what the only good thing it taught me was, and also made us aware of all the light sources in our room. And Benji's very sensitive to light. Yes. So we like realized there was like the alarm thing on the wall was projecting a ton of light. Then like a chair, the rocking chair that's motorized had a light, and we were able to like, and the bathroom has a lot of windows, so like we were able to get rid of that, and then we made like a bedtime routine. That's the only thing positive I got. But I wouldn't have. I'm serious. I didn't even think. I don't know. It was like
you were like in survival mode, so you probably didn't think like I need this regimen bedtime routine, and like even to this day you don't need like the strict thing. Of course, like as you know now, a routine can be simple and just a couple things in order, but you started doing it then, which is obviously fine. And
the sound machine. The sound machine is fantastic. He loves it.
Oh, good.
And I'm just singing the same song to him. Like, there were a few things I learned, but you don't need sleep training to learn them. I'm just saying it's the only positive thing I take out of it. But once we were like doing this routinely and I saw a difference, I was like, oh, I could be like this, or I could be getting up at 500 times at night and running to another location in my house. And I was like, why are people doing that? Because I know people who are doing that, where they like put the baby outside of their bedroom. Because even neighbors told us that, after a month, we put our baby in the outside.
In another room or in the hallway?
Yeah, in another room. And I was just like,
and a month old?
Yeah, something crazy. I don't know. It was definitely less than 6 months. It was something crazy. We couldn't do it, obviously. And the way my house is, all the bedrooms are upstairs except for mine. So we can't even, if we wanted to do that. But I was just thinking like I had it. I was like, I have it good. Like, and it kind of just clicked. And I was like, this is common sense. Like, and then I don't have to pump in the middle of the night. That was the other thing. I was like, I can just nurse him all night if he wants. And then there's a lot of, word, a lot of bad things that people tell you about that too.
Oh, like bad habits.
Like, but then like I talk to people and I'm just real with them, and then they go like, yeah, that's what I did. I just lied about it.
Yeah, because a lot of people are afraid to tell the truth, or,
Mhm.
it's like you never know who you're talking to, right? So it's like,
Mhm.
it's great that you could find people that are open to that and whatnot. And I do remember one time you emailed me and you're like, I feel great this morning. I don't think he slept any better. I just feel great. Because I think you just like, it was one of those nights you realize, well, I'm co-sleeping with him and he might be nursing a lot, but we're both getting sleep, which
Yeah.
is like, I think you had a really great realization with that, with the co-sleeping journey. And like, and I know you have a mattress on the floor, right? And then you also have
Mhm.
your bed. So
Yep.
like you and your husband take turns or vice versa.
Most now he mostly I just stay with him, but
Yeah.
like there like once in a while if like he's having a hard night or if I have trouble getting him to sleep, we switch.
Yeah.
Like I'm lucky to have someone supportive. I think it's like towards a trend now. It's trending towards more supportive partners, not like it's all on the mother,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah. I feel like your husband's always been pretty supportive from the
Yeah.
start, which is amazing. And I mean, he has his parents, I think, really to thank for that, because usually it's the husband pushing the sleep training and that dynamic. So like, and
Mhm.
he probably co-slept with his parents.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He absolutely did. And so did his sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it ruin him?
Clearly not. Like, the biggest thing you guys say is that it's like, like as an adult, do you want to sleep alone?
No, I
Like
don't.
it's just human nature. Like
I know.
Yeah.
it's so
And look, it definitely didn't. This is a perfect example because everyone always wants research and studies, like whatever.
Mhm.
Look at your husband. He's a lovely man. He's a supportive, loving husband and father, and he co-slept with his parents. So I
Yeah,
think that's a great correlation to see. It really is. Not saying
yeah.
that you have to co-sleep to be a good person in the future, but it really, I swear, like just that nurturing and that love from the very start, like sets you up for a long time with your relationship, especially with your partner. It's like so true. And you guys are doing a great job. And you know that now. I know it took you a while,
Yes.
but you know that now.
Yeah, I'm working a lot, so I have the nanny. So like it's our time to connect. That's what's also nice about it. And I know my husband had that with his parents when they were working a lot. Like that was something he fondly remembers was on the weekend, like sleeping in with his mom, like snuggling with her.
That's so sweet.
So yeah,
I love
and
that.
it's just such a nice thing to do.
It is. How is sleep now? Like, is it generally good? I know you're still co-sleeping. Like, how is he? Is he
Mhm.
waking a lot? Like, does he seems more comfortable? Like, how's everything going now? Naps, all
He
that stuff.
really doesn't. He stirs at times, but
Yeah,
he doesn't wake up.
that's
Like
great.
very rarely. And like last night he slept he's having some attachment, what's it called, can't think of words today,
It's okay.
when they like he really wants his mommy and his daddy.
Separation
Anxiety?
anxiety. Yeah.
He's having some separation anxiety, and like he'll like the nanny and my mother-in-law or father-in-law, they can get him to sleep during the day, and that but at night he wants me or Felipe to put him to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I can transfer him, and then but last night he woke up at 1 a.m. screaming,
No.
which is not common at all. It was just last night, and I think it was because he like realized where he was, but I don't know, because he's been doing it. It's like normal now for the separation anxiety. But like if he'll see me walk by, he'll put his arms out and scream.
No.
He does that for Felipe too. It's cute.
Yeah, 9 months is a huge like
I was just
separate.
gonna say
Yeah.
that. I'm like, that sounds right on schedule for.
It's a big peak with separation anxiety, especially for him because he's more on the sensitive side. I mean, they realize at 9 months that they're not the same person as you. They thought you've been like one this whole time, even though he's separated from you, with work and stuff, but he still thinks you're the same person for 9 months, where they say like 9 months in, 9 months on, and then 9 months near. So that's like a long time to have your baby close on you or right by you. And that's how you like, I know for a fact when he's a toddler and he feels more secure, he's going to be like an independent little active kid. I know it. I can't wait to see it. I just like feel it. And like, I know he's a Velcro baby and all that stuff now, but when he can start moving, he's going to be moving. And then he'll look for you and be like, are you still there? And you're like, yep. And then he'll be good and he'll keep going. Like, I know it. And you have a great attachment village. I mean, you have your in-laws and obviously your husband, and your nanny is lovely too, right? She's a big part. Isn't she a little bit older?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's that beautiful like grandma feel to him, which is so nice.
Yeah. I was very lucky I found her. Yeah, but generally sleep now is much better. He just stirs, and then but he doesn't like wake up screaming, thank God. He just sometimes he just and I know when if his legs start kicking, that's when all I do is turn over and then he goes right back to sleep in 2 seconds. Like that's it. It's not hard.
How do you feel with sleep? Do you feel like you're getting better rest? Like, do you feel better in the mornings?
Yeah,
That's
definitely. Great. Definitely. And like I said, it's all about perspective. It's just the way I look at it. I'm looking at it as a blessing because even my nanny said today, she said I'm going to miss the contact naps. Like I'm going to really miss it when he gives that up. And I was like, oh my, and she already was asking me, she's like, cause I don't own a crib. This is what I was going to talk about actually. Then it came back to me. I don't own one. And like, what's the point? That's seriously. And she was like, well, aren't you going to need one for when he walks? Like, what are you going to do? And I was like, we had this conversation yesterday and I was like, well, I have the floor bed. He can't do anything. Like if he falls, it's like, it's carpeted and it's like not even a foot. Like, get out of here. And I was like, I guess I could. She's like, what if he like gets up and walks around? Like, I am the world's lightest sleeper. I know I'm going to wake up. I'm really not worried about it. Like, and now I'm like, should I get one of those fences? I don't think it'll make a damn difference. I really don't.
Especially if you're co-sleeping with him. It'll be fine.
And when I say co-sleeping, so the way I thought co-sleeping was, like solely was like him and then you. This child is glued to me. He like is all snuggled. He's all canoodled in. He has one arm here and I just hold him. So like he's not going anywhere. That's the thing.
No, he likes that pressure of you.
He does.
He's always been like that.
Yeah, my mother-in-law said she tried putting him, like she does experiments and like she goes, he wakes up immediately or he like takes a few minutes and then he wakes up.
Yeah. He'll probably be like a weighted blanket kid when he's older. Some type of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Yeah. I mean, he's 9 months now. There's really no point in getting a crib. Like, there really isn't. And I'm glad you never wasted the money on it anyways. And I always joke with postpartum moms. I'm like, on your registry, just put, like, postpartum things, you know, like meals or chiropractor or things for you and baby instead of, like, all these items. Because, like your mother-in-law said, they just want you. They don't really want anything else. And then, like, why put him in a crib at this point? Like, he's going to be in your room until you guys are ready to put him in his own room because it's you're downstairs and he's upstairs. Yeah. So you're not going to want to do that. I know you said, like, you don't want to do that anytime soon, and you don't have to. You don't have to.
We didn't even paint it. We didn't make a nursery. We have to paint it. Like, you don't understand. Everyone thinks I'm nuts, but I know I'm like, it's like practical. Like, yeah, it's just stupid. I was like, why am I I didn't even pick a room for him until recently. I was like, sure, we're still picking the color to paint it.
That's so funny. Maybe at that point he'll be old enough to tell you what color he wants.
Yes.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. So funny.
So funny. Well, how do you feel now as a mom going through all that 9 months in? Like, how are you actually feeling like right now about everything?
I feel so much better. Just more confident, and I trust my gut more. Like, I knew he got sick recently for the first time. I knew when he was getting sick, and I was like creeped out almost. I was like, how do I know? Like, I was just like an instinct, and it's kind of crazy. And I was right. His eyes turned red. And then we were in New York at the time, and Felipe goes, no, it's just the pollution.
Yeah, New York's so dirty.
Yeah, but then I was like, and then he had a fever that night, and Felipe's like, no, and I was like, yeah, like, it's that motherly instinct, and I'm just leaning into it, and I'm taking all the validation and confidence from Aleni, the validation. It's like so important to me, because you have to just find the right people to give you the validation. That's the thing. So I'm feeling so much better, and I can trust myself more, and just not going down these panic spirals. That's the one thing I don't recommend to anyone. And just kind of step back and take everything in perspective.
Yeah. So looking back, what would you tell yourself now in those early days when things felt really hard? Like, dear old Mariel spiraling self. What would you say?
No, I gotta tell you, I definitely had I already have anxiety and depression, and the postpartum depression hit me hard. Hard, like cannonball in the deep end is what happened. I just got hit by a truck, and you couldn't tell me, I couldn't tell me, no one could tell me anything at that point. I think the most important thing was me reaching out to people
Yeah.
to friends, to you, to someone. Even there, in the most surprising thing was my friends who didn't have kids were actually so helpful. They're still helpful. And I was just shocked. And they came and they helped me. And I was just like, I don't know how they knew to help me. And they just knew. I don't know. And I'm still amazed to this day. But that was like the best thing. Like, there was nothing anyone could say to me. The only thing I would say is reach out. Like, as hard as it is, I would just tell myself, text a friend. That's what I would say. Text someone and just say I need help because I was drowning. I was honestly drowning, even though I had so much help. I had my in-laws here, like I said, but I was drowning in like my own thoughts. I felt so alone. And then when they left, I was like, woo. I was like, what are we gonna eat?
Yeah.
And what I did was I got Hungry Root, like I got like a meal, like a subscription service. Was proactive. I prepared for that, but and that saved me, but with that anxiety. But yeah, I would just say reach out to a friend.
That's great.
That's what I would tell myself to do more often.
Yeah, well, you did though. I mean, it definitely took you some time, like you said, and you seem like you have really lovely friends that did that.
Mhm.
Because when you're not a mom, being friends with a mom, I feel like it's always hard because that dynamic changes. You know, like
Mhm.
your friend's a mom and you don't know how to help her, you don't know what to say. You know, it's like because they're not a mom, but I mean, you seem like you have really great friends, so
No,
that's
they brought
awesome.
me Starbucks and
Aw,
we watched the movies because I like movies and TV, and they watched, so it felt more normal. Like
yeah.
we normalized it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, what would you tell a parent who's struggling with sleep or dealing with anything like medically, like the stuff that you went through? What is one thing you would tell them to do?
Keeping things in perspective while trusting your instincts and persevering and being persistent in getting answers.
Yeah.
But you gotta maintain perspective too. Don't, no rabbit holes.
Yeah.
That was the hardest. It's very hard. And especially when Instagram and all these things, like they see you looking at baby reflux, so then they go, oh, this, that, and they like suggest they make it so you go down a rabbit hole. You have to just kind of take a break, take a step back, do something else. It's not an immediate, urgent thing usually. And always ask when you make doctor's appointments, ask if there's any cancellation lists or anything like that. Because I was lucky so many times. I got at least 3 times already, where the next day they got me in because someone canceled. 3 times that happened. I was so lucky, but if you don't ask, you don't get. That's the thing. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, you have to wait months sometimes. And then these babies are suffering.
Yeah.
It's not good.
That's not really something I even would think about. I don't know why, but
Mhm.
yeah, because it usually a lot of the time we're working with clients, we're like, oh, we'll just pause for a month or 2 months, see what happens, kind of thing, while this
Yeah.
poor mom is suffering. But yeah, cancellation list, that's a huge one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. How do you feel about like social media now or people saying stuff to you now? Like, do you just brush it off like it doesn't affect you like it did back then? Like, do you just probably laugh about it?
Good question. Social media, I mute or unfollow.
Good.
That's what I did. There were some people that, and even if I had no reason, I was like, this girl's annoying me. Like, why am I watching this? Like, goodbye. Like, and I don't even miss it.
Good.
That's what I do with social media. And then when people say obnoxious things to me, depends. Sometimes it still bothers me to a degree, but I just say, you know what? I know I'm doing that. I have more confidence in myself to just say, you know what? I'm not going to argue with this person.
Yeah.
We don't, the sleep training people like to get into arguments and we don't.
Seriously, it's so
Yeah.
true. I mean, it's so funny. And like, that's so great that you're confident in it because if you weren't, they would try to keep pushing you and pushing you on stuff. And you know your baby best, and that's all you got to do.
Yeah, and also I forgot to mention that Felipe is like I told you, he's very scientific in his methods. Like he, with the co-sleeping and all the controversy, he literally did his own research on it and found papers and did all this stuff. And he was like, "This is stupid." It was like this. He literally was like, he like debunked it, and he was like, "This is really dumb." He's like, "You have to have common sense. That's what it comes down to. Just common sense. They don't." There's no real, and there's actually a Brazilian woman who has a co-sleeping account on Instagram that's very like
Yeah.
staunchly, so
Happy Coast.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Very
yeah, I
much
forgot she's
Brazilian.
Brazilian. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and she's very like pushy about it in a good way.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
her to be like that.
I know. Those accounts are so lovely because they're so helpful, just normalizing it and just realizing how many people actually do that because they have how many, like hundreds of thousands of followers. So obviously they're helping a lot of people and just educating on how to do it safely because there's so many things that co-sleeping is so great, but then we hear stories about how it's being done unsafely, or I hear stories like, oh, I fell asleep on the rocking chair on the couch with the baby. I'm like, well, that is that's dangerous. And obviously you can co-sleeping safer than what you're doing because no one wants to bring the baby in the bed because we're told not to. So they rather just fall asleep with them on the rocking chair. I'm like, that is so dangerous compared to, just bring them on a safe floor bed. Like, it's so much easier.
Yeah, it really is. You just got to use your common sense and then things just get easier. That's really what it's about. Yeah. And that's what I've realized. Like, I'm just making it harder otherwise.
Oh, it's like you're fighting against your instincts. You were like fighting against them, which made it harder. And then when you just took a step back and lean into it, it really, really like changes everything. And you're doing so great now. I'm so happy.
Thank you. Yeah, me too.
Do you have anything else you want to add or say before we are over with this beautiful interview we had?
I think we're good. I don't know. I'm just happy that I found you.
I'm so happy I found you. Now we're going to be friends forever, so you can't go anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere. No, my husband, he's trying to find a job now that he graduated from his PhD, and he's just like, we're not effing moving.
Aww.
He used to say we might have to move for a job, and then I was like, okay.
Yeah. You guys want to stay in Buffalo?
Yeah, I love Buffalo, and so does he. He's like, it's peace. That's how he described it.
That's nice.
And his parents say the same thing. They're like, it's so peaceful here.
Oh, that's so nice. That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming and chatting with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to connect with us beyond the podcast. You can find me on all social media platforms at moonbay.sleep. And for more sleepy goodness, you can head over to Instagram and follow Aleni at Rooted in Sleep. Until next week, keep embracing the chaos.